Hey everybody, it's Chris Ervin from chriservin.net. Thanks for joining me again today. Today the topic of the video is the happiest day of my life. I'm going to give you the answer to that question at the end of the video, but I also want you to come up with your own answer. So what was the happiest day of your life? And to make it a little bit harder, you can't choose your marriage, the day you got married, the birth of your kids or anything like that. Or any obvious answers. So I want you to really think about this. But to make it a little bit easier, let's say you just have to pick one day, the best day of your childhood, okay? That narrows down the time range a little bit. So as your subconscious tries to think of a day, of the happiest day of your childhood, basically we're doing this exercise is to show you how priming yourself to be happy every day can help you become more productive, which is what we're all about here at chriservin.net. And I'm going to show you some studies here in this video about how powerful priming yourself can be happy is. One of the best books that I read last year was The Happiness Advantage by Sean Acor. If you have not read The Happiness Advantage yet, I highly recommend it. And I took some notes here about some of the studies cited in that book. Now there's lots of studies done, but I just picked some out that I thought were interesting ones. The first one in particular is simply amazing. They did a study on 75-year-old men. They took this group of 75-year-old men and basically asked them to behave, think, and act like they did when they were 55 years old. So at the end of the study, this group of 75-year-old men, just by merely thinking about themselves as 20 years younger, they were able to increase their strength, stamina, memory, and intelligence. But the most amazing thing is about this study is the men physically appeared 3 years younger to outside observers. Now, how they gauged or measured that, basically at the beginning of the study and at the end of the study, they took pictures of these men and they asked independent observers to guess the age of these men. And by the end of the study, everyone was guessing that these men were 3 years younger than they were at the beginning of the study. So that's pretty amazing. That just shows you the power of the human mind. Let me just run through some other studies here to show you the awesome power of priming yourself to be happy every day. Doctors who thought about something happy before they examined their patients were able to arrive at a diagnosis that was 19% faster and be even more efficient than other doctors. Positive salespeople have been shown to outperform their peers by 56%, which is pretty amazing. Nuns, they examined diaries of a group of nuns that were kept over a period of 60 years. And what they found was the nuns who had more positive entries in their diaries actually lived longer. The cold virus. Students were infected with a cold virus. These were volunteers. They were voluntarily infected with the cold virus. The amazing thing is the students that had a more positive personality recovered from the cold faster. And this study is relevant to the question I asked you at the beginning of the video, which was, what is your happiest day of your life? In a group of students that were asked to think about the happiest day of their life, they outperformed their peers on a standardized math test. Now that's pretty amazing. They just asked the students just to think about the happiest day of their life, and this led to an increase in their performance. So the whole goal is to help us improve or achieve a state. What I like to talk about is a relaxed productivity. And that's one of the keys I talk about in my Clear Head, Clean Desk productivity system, is trying to achieve a state of relaxed productivity. And priming yourself to be happy is a great way to get into that state. So did you come up with an answer as to what was the happiest day of your childhood? Odds are it's probably something socially related because humans are social creatures. So you probably picked an activity where you were hanging out with your friends or family. Some of the happiest days of my childhood involved activities involving 4-H because I grew up in a small town, so we had lots of cousins around, so that was great. We had a lot of fun in 4-H. Also hanging out with my friends in junior high school and high school, and playing basketball. So, so the whole point of the exercise is just to prime yourself to be happy. So merely just taking a few minutes and trying to remember happy moments from your life will actually make you more productive for the rest of the day. It's a simple activity, but it's very powerful. So make sure you do that every day. Okay, that's all for today. If you haven't come up with an answer yet, keep thinking. This is Chris Ervin from chriservin.net.